Hi, good morning. Merry Christmas, almost. My name is Caitlin Hayes from Holistic Life Coaching Services, and I'd like to give you some tips to transform the relationships in your family that are leaving you feeling a little bit stifled. So, tip one is accept and acknowledge that some of the relationships and some of the way that members of your family perceive you does not serve who you perceive yourself to be. So if somebody is constantly treating you like you're younger and immature and able to make your own decisions, or somebody is treating you as they were treating you when you were 5 years old, including parents. So how do you create the space to transform that? First is accept that it exists like that. Number two is choose and intend that you want to change and transform that relationship, that it no longer serves you. So part of this whole process is you have to do a lot of work on yourself so that you are able to literally change your entire inner workings, changing your entire self-talk, and changing the entire way you deal with anxiety and fear that arises up from you. So first step was accepting the situation, accepting the relationship that is not ideal for who you perceive yourself to be. Perhaps it doesn't encourage your growth, and it doesn't put you in a good place that you believe that you are or are aspiring to become towards. So then the second part of that was to intend to change that. Just a thought of intention to change that relationship, and focus on a particular relationship when you do these exercises. So whether it's a mother or a father, you're now intending to change that relationship. The third is when you're in the experience of that relationship, you do not judge anymore the usual happenings in that relationship, the action and the reaction between the two people that happen, you, one of them. So if somebody takes a jab at you and they're waiting for the same reaction, you want to stop that same reaction. You want to stop that pattern of the relationship. That's the active part of this, not judging it. It's a very active thing to not judge something, because we've been judging things our whole lives. So this process is retraining yourself. So let's review. The first is to accept the relationship as it is. Of course, taking responsibility for your role in the relationship as it is. Second is to intend to change that relationship. And the third is to not judge the relationship while it's occurring. So through that non-judging, you're creating a space of acceptance. And that's step 4. You're going to entirely accept the experience of it occurring as it's occurring. You're going to actually bring forgiveness into what it is that you're perceiving. Because oftentimes in relationships with our families, there's usually something underlying. There's usually some blame or shame or something that somebody feels that needs to be forgiven or acknowledged. So there are all these little intervals and overlappings of our relationship in our families, right? And this is a time where a lot comes right to the forefront. Often there'll be a lot of family fights, a lot of bickering, but you can overcome and transform every single relationship in your family. I have done that, and it works. So the fourth is acceptance, really merging into the forgiveness. So I'll distinguish it from the first, acceptance of acknowledgement, okay? And then the fifth one is to actually do a visualization while you're in the interaction with the family member. Because if you've done these steps and you don't judge, you're accepting and forgiving. And then the fifth and final step I'm giving you as an advice to create the peace is to visualize the peace of that situation, is to visualize non-reaction on your part, and acceptance, and ultimately realizing a state of love with that loved one. Because as you continue this journey, some will join you, some will make fun of you, some will embrace you. And the bottom line is that as you start building up the peace inside of yourself, that is the most important thing you will ever do in your life. So those that want to join you will join you, and those that don't, you will respectfully appreciate their way, and they will respectfully appreciate your way. So let's go rehash one more time. You're going to accept and acknowledge your relationship. You're going to intend to change it. When you're experiencing the relationship, you're not going to judge it. You're going to accept and forgive it, number 4. Number 5, you're going to visualize a state of peace within yourself around that relationship. And in other ways, you could use this with a lot of different models of experiences in your life. Okay? So Merry Christmas. Facebook.com/the spiritual support. You could find me. And thank you. Namaste. Bye bye.